Welcome back to yet another video by Leanne.
Hello.
And myself, Alan. Hi.
Hi.
2 days ago we did a predictions for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view event from WWE, which aired last night as we're recording this. We sort of watched it this morning and / this afternoon. It was 3 hours 20 for the main card itself. And we watched it was 20 minutes for the kickoff show match, something like that. So we are going to just do, a quick rundown. They do tend to get a bit bloated, and so you're probably looking at half hour, 45 minutes, I'd imagine, if not longer.
Gotta stop predicting times.
I know, right? We're going to do like a breakdown of the card and the matches, what we thought worked, what we thought didn't work, how much went on.
Lots.
There's going to be a few senses in this video. One match in particular, yeah, that's going to get annoying. But we'll go like we did with the Hell in a Cell one. We're going to go from the top of the card, from the kickoff show, work our way down in the order, and tell you what we thought. So first off, the kickoff show. We were blessed, I guess, because it was a pretty decent match, to be fair, to have Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, challenging for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And that was against Dominik and Rey Mysterio. Where to start with this one? Okay, so the match was good. The Dominik and Rey Mysterio entrance, not so good.
Like, so weird and out of the blue.
What was that supposed to be? Was it supposed to be some Mayan prophecy? Was it supposed to be a Rick and Morty episode? Was it supposed to be an intergalactic MCU multi-universal thing?
It was really odd. There was no sort of explanation or build-up or reference to what it was meant to be.
No.
They're just in some place, probably in Mexico, maybe.
Yeah, it looked like kind of maybe some of the Mayan temples or something.
And then they hop through a portal.
Well, through.
Well, Dominik does. He does this weird ooh, a portal.
And then Ray's just kind of like...
He's sort of smoothly going in. But
the thing that bugged me the most, right, and this is going to sound really, really petty and pathetic, but I'm going to go there anyway. It looked like the sort of first shots you see, it's very, I think it was like a purple or a green tone, I can't remember the exact colours palette of it. But Ray and Dominik were putting on these suits. They had like shirts, they had the suit, Ray had his mask on, Dominik didn't. And it almost looked like they were trying to join the NXT faction of Legado del Fantasma, the way that they dress. And that's where I thought, hang on a minute, what's going on here? Is this some sort of nod to Fantasma coming up to the main roster? Maybe to start a Mexican faction of some sorts.
Yeah.
But then, so you're just sitting in the arena, in the crowd, right? And you're probably watching this on the big screen. And Dominik and Ray just sort of walk out while this thing's going on. And they're stood in the middle of the walkway. Not in the entrance ramp, but pretty much as that ramp to the ring starts.
Yeah.
So not on the stage, but on the ramp onto the ring. And then as soon as the portal sort of shuts, boom, the lights come on, and they just stood there, and then the music hits. And it's like...
In their ring gear as well.
Yeah,
so
in their ring gear.
The portal changed their clothes. So as viewers watching from home, we get the whole... They show a portal as we're seeing them on the ring.
I bet they showed it on the big screens as well.
Yeah.
I guarantee they showed it on the big screens.
But for people who are there, they're just looking at these two guys just stood there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They probably put the lights down, but you're still going to see something in the dark, because it's not a fully dark arena.
Yeah.
It's like if you're in a building or a shop or anything and the power cuts out, there's emergency lighting. You have to have emergency light. You can't put an entire arena in pitch black because of health and safety issues. So you're standing in the front row. You're literally, from where we are to where the camera is, away from Ray and Dominik, and you're like, oh, they just stood there, and you're looking at the screen going, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. One positive is that Dominik had a mask on. Last time we saw him with a mask on, he took it off before the camera could really see
I think it was
what
on
the
SmackDown,
mask was.
wasn't it?
Yeah, so I think someone must have given him notes. Because I was yelling at the screen when that happened. He was like, keep it on till we can see it. And he did keep it on most of the way down the ramp.
He must have heard you, clearly.
Yeah. It was like a Jason Voorhees mask.
Yeah, it was it was the hockey mask with the Jason Voorhees markings with other markings on there as well.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that was alright. It was pretty good.
His take on doing the mask thing, not a lucha mask,
not a lucha mask.
It's a mask, and he doesn't wear it in the ring.
No.
It's probably for the best if it's a hockey mask, because I don't think he can breathe very well.
Like, Dominik he's getting better. And as I said in the prediction video, I think he would have benefited from going to NXT first, working with some of those talent, working in the Performance Center, the CWC, with some of those guys. And, or even the girls, because a lot of the trainers there are female as well.
Yeah.
But they just dumped him straight in the main roster because of his father's name. And it's like, well, let's stick him in a tag team. Oh, great, let's have them win the tag. But I don't feel that he's progressing as well as he could if he was in an actual developmental,
Yeah.
And I'm molting. And I feel that's holding him back a little bit.
Yeah, I think because he hasn't got, with the guys in NXT and the developmental programs, have that motivation to keep on improving themselves, because they are still, NXT's more in the main roster kind of now anyway, so it's not as much focus on development, but there is that aspect to it. But when you're on main roster, I know a lot of the guys are still improving and getting better, but there isn't that much pressure because you've already made it. And he's on the kickoff show, but he's in a pay-per-view.
But less than a year? I can't remember when he actually made his debut. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think he is getting better, but it could be quicker if he was getting that.
Yeah, I think if he went and focused solely on training, he would learn a lot better than being on the road with his father. I mean, again, don't get me wrong, Rey Mysterio's been in the business for decades, okay? But I personally think he's overrated.
Yeah.
So all the mistakes that Rey Mysterio's going to make, he's going to teach to Dominik. And Dominik's going to be just as bad.
I guess a good thing is, I think when he started, Dominik was trying to do Rey Mysterio's moves. He was trying to be Rey Mysterio, and he's sort of finding his own way a bit now.
A little bit, yeah, which is cool. Which is cool. And I say he's come a long way. I'll give him full props on that. He has come a long way. We
saw the picture of him when he was a kid, but not that long ago, and it's like, this is his little chubby face.
Anyone who's not seen, oh god, what year was it? Early 2000s, I think it was. WWE or WWF potentially at the time. I can't remember the exact date. There was a whole storyline with Eddie Guerrero, one of the greatest to ever lace up a pair of boots, and he was having a feud with his legit best friend in real life, Rey Mysterio. And there was the whole thing of Eddie Guerrero questioning the fatherhood of Dominik, questioning that Rey was his actual father, and I believe he even went so far to say, "I'm your papi," And it was very borderline. Oh, this is kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But then you look back at the pictures, and Dominik's so small, and he's got this chubby face, and it's like, huh.
And now he's really tall.
Yeah, it's like he's just shot over his father. It's like, oh, hi son,
Yeah.
But no, as going back to sort of the match itself, it was a pretty good match. There wasn't anything spectacular that took place. No. There was some pretty good offense on both sides. Sort of towards the end of the match, Rey Mysterio went for a 619. I forget which Uso was which, but one of them took the bullet for it, so the one who was on the ropes didn't eat it. Rey jumped in, rolled him up. The other Uso kind of managed to slide in and held the back end of the Uso as he was rolling him up, and they cheated to get the win, and they're 7-time tag team champions.
Yeah.
On that aspect, both Leanne and I correctly predicted that the Usos would retain the belt. Gain the belts, rather. So it's, I've seen worse kickoff show matches.
Yeah.
Anything with Natalya? Ooh, did I say that out loud?
Yeah, it wasn't a bad start. The crowd were into it, which really helped.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, this being the first pay-per-view back for all live crowds as well, I think they were pretty much into this. Some of the chants were like, what? And some of the signs.
Yeah.
What was that one you picked out?
My father left when I was 3 weeks old.
That's it.
That was on a
That's
sign.
Something like that, wasn't it? Yeah, that's...
Poor guy.
We're back to the WWE universe, ladies and gentlemen.
The signs are so distracting.
Anyway, so onto the main card. So they started off with the Women's in the Bank. Women's in the Bank? The Women's in the Bank. The Women's money. Oh, I can't talk. Take it right now.
The show kicked off.
The seat's getting to me.
With the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. There you go.
Thank you. Leading up to this, in the last couple of days, Alexa Bliss has been teasing a new outfit, and she came out pretty much in her old costume, but it was all black with sort of like white stitching, which looked pretty cool.
It was really cool.
And there was this almost like a PVC, would you call it a skirt? Because it kind of went from where the bralette stopped and went down to the legs.
Yeah, it's a skirt.
So then she just sort of pulled it off, and you can see it's the old ring gear, which is cool. And it's like, okay, she's actually coming to fight. It's not the dresses and the dungarees she's been wearing. It's like, okay, here we go. Alexa Bliss is going to actually get it on. Which was pretty cool. So on the way into the ring, then they were saying, Alexa Bliss won the title, the Money in the Bank a couple of years back, won against she interfered in the Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax match on the same night, and won the title there. They didn't do much of that, saying, this person is this, and then they showed it. But then one thing that I did question was when Naomi came out, they showed when she won the title from Alexa Bliss at Elimination Chamber a few years ago. That had no bearing on the Money in the Bank whatsoever. Yeah. So why show it? I don't understand. And if you're going to do that, why not show all the other women who might have won the title? I mean, I can't remember who else was in the match off the top of my head. Liv Morgan's never won it. Zelina Vega's never won it. Natalya's won the title. Tamina hasn't. Asuka's won the title numerous times. Why not show them winning the title?
Yeah.
Why Naomi? I don't understand the logic behind that.
Especially since Naomi was one of the least used people in that match.
Yeah.
So it's not like
which
it was
a crime in
building
its
up
own
to
right.
it. Yeah. She didn't get a huge amount.
You look at the sort of the Women's Royal Rumble when they started that, and she's become a bit of that highlight reel because she does so many great things. Yeah, and this is another match that would lend her talents very well. The ladder match, doing crazy stuff off ladders and off the top ropes and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, there wasn't really much.
No,
for Naomi, unfortunately.
Her performance wasn't memorable, and probably through no fault of her own. She probably just wasn't given the opportunity to really shine. She didn't get the spots, but
yeah. So I mean, again, this was a pretty good match to be fair, and generally, as I said on the predictions episode, a lot of the Money in the Bank matches do tend to be really good matches because you do have you might have some lesser talent who aren't as experienced, but then you've got the stars, you've got your Asuka, you've got your Naomi, your Taminas, the ones who have been in the business for years, literally, in some cases decades, and they really know how to make these younger stars, the newer stars really shine. And then they all sort of bounce off each other, and there's some really great spots in there. Speaking of new stars, as it were, let's just take 2 seconds to just bitch about Pat McAfee yet again, because he's a moron. I hate this guy. I can't stand him. His commentary sucks. He's dragging Michael Cole down with him. Michael Cole's been making mistakes since Pat McAfee joined the team, and I'm not friggin' surprised. Every time Rick Boogs comes out with Shinsuke, Pat McAfee's up on the table, stroking his leg like a guitar. What are you doing, you moron? I hate it. I hate it.
To be fair, I think Michael Cole did make a few mistakes before Pat McAfee came in.
True, but I think this is throwing him more.
The things Pat McAfee says are so noticeable because they can be really random. And
it might have been when Asuka was coming to the ring, or might have been when she was fighting. I don't remember exactly when this bit of commentary happened. But Pat McAfee literally said, Asuka won the Money in the Bank and she cashed it in. No, she didn't, mate. It was the pandemic era. You should know about this because you're such a huge fan. She did not cash in. We covered this on the predictions episode. She got the title. She won the Money in the Bank. Becky Lynch relinquished the title the next night, gave the Raw Women's title to Asuka because she won the Money in the Bank. Because Becky Lynch had to, because she was with a child. She didn't cash in.
No.
Where are you getting your notes from, mate? Stop being a pillock.
And it was so recent. It was the last one.
It's not even a year ago.
No, you'd think he would have had notes done, research, if he hadn't seen it or couldn't remember. It could have just been a slip just on the night. It's
possible, but you do your friggin' research.
Yeah.
We are by no means professionals to this. We are quite new to... we were the podcast before we had to that stopped running for personal reasons on some of the members' behalf, which I'm not going to get into. We hope you guys are doing okay though.
Sounds really sinister.
It's not sinister. It's not sinister. It's a lack of time. But we do honestly, we love both the guys that we did the podcast with, and we wish them every best in the world. And we do still talk to them. We are still really good friends with them. But we have been doing this channel for since April. So was that 3 months?
Yep.
And yet we're getting these facts literally so much easier than he is. And he's working for a professional multi-billion-dollar company.
He's getting paid to get things right, and he's not getting things right.
Hey Vince, I can get this stuff done better than Pat. Where's my $1 million? You know?
Imagine.
Honestly, it's ridiculous. So anyway, bitch over about Pat McAfee.
Yes.
Back to the sort of the thing. The one thing that did bug me is Alexa didn't really do much.
Yeah, it was... She got that one spot with
Zelina
Zelina on top of the ladder where she...
The voodoo
she did voodoo to make Zelina come down the ladder. But obviously with that, it's a mimicking thing. So Alexa was coming down as well, and then sort of tried to run back up. It didn't pay off for her. But
it was well done. I enjoyed that.
The only real spot for her, I think.
Yeah.
The only real memorable thing where she was the main person. And then
she sort of ends up getting buried under 5 or 6 ladders, wherever it was. But then the other women didn't really do a good job because she could have easily just slipped out. And the I think they noticed the camera angle and they stopped using that one.
Yeah, I really thought that they were going to bury her and they deliberately left a bit so she could get out. And then she's going to like turn up on the other side of the ring. Yeah. But that was the last you saw of her in the match.
So then all, I say all other 6 competitors, there's 7 other competitors. So you had all the other competitors bar Nikki A.S.H. With ladders, or where there's 3 ladders. There was 2 women on each side. Nikki A.S.H. from nowhere just sort of runs up like a little spider monkey, crawls up over everyone else, grabs the briefcase as everyone else is sort of beating each other on the top ladder and just unhooks it. And it's like, wait, what just happened?
But you did have, who was it on the left-hand side? It was
As
Tamina
you're looking at it, I think it was Tamina and, was it Zelina?
I think. And because everyone was sort of distracted, so didn't notice Nikki.
Liv Morgan was in the middle. I'm just trying to work it out. So Liv Morgan's who she climbed over to get.
Yes. So those 2 on one side, they were looking at her, so they weren't distracted, but they were sort of just half-heartedly going, no.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
It's like, okay, all right, yeah. I don't know who was at fault there. I don't know if that was Tamina and Zelina or if it was Tamina and Zelina.
They probably looked from instinct and then realised that they were supposed to be distracted and then sort of thought, we've got to try and cover it, but it wasn't that easy.
Yeah, no. I'm not sure. It might have been the case that Nikki was too slow for all we know. You know, because it seemed to go on a little long.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because she seemed to maybe catch it and fumble a little bit.
It's quite tricky, I think.
Yeah, it's that carabiner clip. You've got to really push it and then hook it over. Like the men's, oh my word.
It's very warm.
Oh, I don't do well in the heat. The men's Money in the Bank winner as well, which I'm not going to spoil just yet, is they had trouble pulling it off as well. And he was up there on his own. You know, and there was like a... got it.
Because you have to uncook it and lift the thing up, and it's not going to be light, even though it's probably empty.
It's a full metal case. They have shown it numerous times. It is a full metal case.
The other thing I was going to mention on this was I was really impressed with Liv Morgan. She had some really good spots, and sort of, you know, when a lot of the time when someone is climbing the ladder towards the briefcase, but they're not going to get it. So they go really slow and sort of play up the being tired thing. But she's just like a little bullet and she's just sort of rushing.
Straight up.
She's so believable, and I found myself really, really rooting for her. I don't know if it's also because of the tears thing. Yeah. Because it makes her look so helpless.
Well, the thing, Liv Morgan is a great talent.
Yeah, she
was with the Riot Squad. They had that break and they had the Fever Ruby Riot.
Yeah.
And she went away for a little bit. She's come back and she put a couple of posts up, or a specific post where she had 2 years ago I was this, 2 years later I'm this, and the sort of evolution of the Liv Morgan character. And, you know, she's, again, talking about Dominik Mysterio getting better in the ring. Liv Morgan has become really good in the ring.
Yeah, she is great. And out of the ring as well, I think she's definitely...
Yeah, if I remember rightly, she lives on a farm. Oh. She actually has a working farm, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Or she has some sort of hand in it. I know I've seen, like, on Instagram or Twitter or whatever account it was, that she spends a lot of time at this farm.
Yeah, she really proved that she deserved to be there, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, we have both that wrong. So I chose Alexa from Raw and Liv Morgan from SmackDown. Oh no, Leanne chose Nikki. You did get Nikki right. So okay, fair play.
Boosting that superhero gimmick.
Yeah, fair play.
Although, what I was they keep saying Nikki A.S.H. instead of Nikki A.S.H. now, and I feel like Nikki A.S.H. would roll off the tongue so much easier.
Yeah, I think that works better.
I think because they want to make it clear that it's an acronym.
Yeah. They're
going for A.S.H.
But it still works because in acronyms you do tend to do that.
I'm going to just call her Nikki A.S.H.
You know, yeah, Nikki A.S.H. works better, I think. Nikki A.S.H. You can say another 3 words in that time.
Exactly.
Anyway, so the next match after that was AJ Styles and the Giant Omos defending their Raw Tag Team titles against the Viking Raiders. Again, going back to getting good, Omos, this is like his 5th match, maybe. But he's getting really good with this, you know, and his size, he's not trying to do what he can't. He's not trying to be a high flyer. He's not trying to be a technical wrestler. He's in there to just beat the hell out of people, you know. And there was a spot where he literally just picks up Ivar for a slam and he holds him. And Ivar's a big frigging guy. And he's just holding him in midair and he's just making it look effortless. Yeah. It's like, oh my god, what is this?
What was that? There was that other spot. Was it the other guy? What's his name?
Eric.
Eric. He bounced off the ropes or something, and then Omos was going to sort of pick him up to slam him. But it didn't quite go right, so because usually he would have sort of jumped to help him get him up, but he didn't get up. So then Omos basically deadlifted him.
Yeah, that was impressive, because again, he's a big guy. Both the Viking Raiders are really big guys. And to deadlift someone like that, friggin' hell, that was insane.
And he made it look effortless.
Yeah. And you know, I think a lot of Omos's in-ring ability, his selling, his work ethic in the ring, I think it's definitely coming from AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Like, AJ Styles has been in the industry since, what, 90s? Late 90s?
Mm-hmm.
So that's nearly it's 25 years, whatever it is, that he's been in the industry.
Yeah.
And AJ Styles is literally one of the best right now in the world.
Yes.
I don't care what anyone says. You try and put someone against AJ Styles who can't wrestle, AJ Styles will make them look like $1 million and make them look like they can wrestle. John Cena, for example. You know, AJ Styles had a match with John Cena. John Cena's not got a great in-ring style. People chant at him all the time, "You can't wrestle." That's part of Cena. He's not a big technical wrestler.
Yeah.
AJ Styles made him look like a star in the ring in terms of that style. And it's just because AJ Styles is that good.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And again, so AJ Styles, smallest guy in the match, and he could still go.
Yeah.
You know, you've got these two sort of maybe 300-pounders, and AJ Styles is like 200 something. He can still go with them and pull off the best he can, and he still makes it work. I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to see AJ Styles retire. And the thing is, well, they're supposed to be heels.
Yes.
The crowd were cheering them so hard.
They're such a good team.
Yeah, no, I agree. So yeah, I mean, Omos was dominating. He literally manhandled both the Viking Raiders, and the AJ Styles and Omos got the win, and they retained their Raw Tag Team titles.
Yep.
It's hard to see who they fight next. If I'm honest, I can't think of anyone who's going to step up unless Miz and Morrison, maybe.
That'll be a train wreck.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it'll be fun to see. I mean, that's what we want from Miz and Morrison. See him get beat up every now and then.
Yeah, well, I don't know if the Miz's injury is legit at the moment. That's the thing.
No idea. He's been in a wheelchair for quite a while now.
At least a month.
Yeah.
I think it was just after Backlash, so probably a month and a half.
But thinking of the Miz, he's probably playing it up. So we'll see.
So on to the next match then was
predictions on that one.
Oh yeah, predictions. Yeah, we both picked AJ and Omos, so yeah, we were both correct on that one. Next match then was the good old almighty Bobby Lashley against the New Day's Kofi Kingston. Oh, excuse me. Kofi had a quick little flurry of offense in the beginning, like maybe 3 moves. Bob was just like smack, nope, and that was pretty much it for Kofi for the entire match. Lashley just destroyed him through and through, absolutely pummeled 7 bells out of him.
He's not distracted anymore.
And the funniest thing is that when Lashley came out, there were cheers. There was cheers for him at Mania when he was fighting Drew, because I think people are getting a little bit bored of Drew's current thing.
Yeah.
There were cheers for Lashley at the beginning, and it was like, yeah, he was the almighty champion. But at the end of this match, they were really hating on Lashley. And I think this beatdown on Kofi is what he needed to get firmly back into that I'm badass heel, nobody can touch me kind of thing. And I thought that was fantastic.
It must have felt good getting that turn into old booze.
And a lot of that came from when he wasn't covering him. Yeah. So he kicked him with the Dominator, and the ref was like, "You're not going to pin him?" And Lashley would pick him up again, slam him with another Dominator, and the ref's like, "Come on, man, pin him already." And that cemented him, because he's just beating him, A, because he can, and B, because he wants to.
Yeah.
He wants to teach Kofi and Xavier Woods, who have got wins over the Hurt Business and Bobby Lashley in the last month or so, a lesson that they're not to mess around with him. Yeah, they're not playing games. They're not to mess with him anymore. Just stay the hell out of his way, basically. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Lashley then stuck on the Hurt Lock, wrenched it right in. It looks worse when it's on Kofi because he hasn't got those pectoral muscles.
Yeah.
And it just looks like he's just cracking him in half. But yeah, he tapped out pretty quick after that, and
I would too.
Yeah, you got that big meaty mass behind you. Jeez. So on that one, you picked Kofi. You were wrong on that one, I'm afraid. I did go with Lashley. So yeah, I mean, you can't win them all, right?
I know. I was so wrong. Here we go.
Okay, this is where the censoring starts. Next match is Rhea Ripley against Charlotte Flair. Here we go. Here we go again. Round 2. Fantastic. Here we go. So, just to give a little bit of insight first, The last time these fought was at what was the last pay-per-view? Oh god, I can't remember which one it was. What month are we? July, June. No, I can't remember. Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell. And they found themselves fighting on the outside, and Rhea grabs the announce table. Anyone who's seen wrestling has got an announce table. The desk is like this. You've got another sort of bit of maybe balsa wood on the top, or plywood. Something really thin that's not going to really do any damage if you smack your face into it. Literally grabs it, pulls it into Charlotte's face. The referee rings the bell as a disqualification. Just keep that in mind for a few moments, okay? So, the match started off pretty well, to be fair. Charlotte came out with a mixed reaction. Rhea came out with a bit of mixed reaction. There was kind of a bit of give and take for both. The problem with that is that Rhea Ripley's been shown as, oh, she's a heel this week, and then she's a face the next week. Oh, let's make her the heel again the next week. And it's like, don't flip and flop them around, because that's just going to confuse everything. Don't do that. That's ridiculous. That's for starters. Rhea Ripley is a dominator. She's a beast. She's a great talent. She's big. She's got that presence of intimidation. And she's been the champion since WrestleMania, and she's well deserved that. She won that belt from Asuka. She's had it was April, so 3 months, or just over 3 months, and it was well deserved. I personally believe it was well deserved. And then in comes Charlotte Flair. Oh, she got disqualified on purpose. I deserve another match. Blah 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 blah. Here we go again. Charlotte Flair, round number 2, like I predicted in the Hell in a Cell video.
Yeah.
So I mean, to go back to it, then there's a lot of great counters. So Rhea would get the upper hand on Charlotte, but then they'd start reversing their moves. It looked like they really worked really well together, which was cool.
Yes.
Then we get into the last maybe 3 or 4 minutes of the match, and Charlotte lived up to her reputation as Ric Flair's father and the dirtiest player in the game.
Ric Flair's daughter.
Ric Flair's daughter.
That would be terrifying.
As the dirtiest player in the game is Ric Flair's moniker. That's who he is. So Charlotte Flair's taken lessons of him. She gets Rhea, literally rams her into the ring post, face first. Right, ref, where's the disqualification? Because that was clearly used as a weapon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not crazy on that, right? Not only that, then she puts her leg between the ring post. The steel steps go around it. She put her leg there and starts kicking 7 bells out of the steps. 3, 4 kicks, whatever it was. Ref, that's a weapon. Why don't you stop the match as a disqualification?
Yeah.
But the ref did nothing.
I suppose the difference that they might use is that Charlotte didn't move the objects.
If you're kicking something into someone, technically you are, right? And those
just
steps
happened to kick some steps while her leg was there.
Well, she put the leg there on purpose.
Yeah.
And those steps are steel. They're solid steel steps, as
solid.
this. So, but that ring, the table from the announcer's table is just going to be a thin bit of wood, a tiny bit of plywood or balsa wood, something really small and really thin. That's not really going to. If I've got a wood like that and I hit you in the head with it, or if I hit you in the head with the steel steps will hurt most. The ring post, if I drove your head into it, will hurt more than that table. So why the didn't the ref disqualify Charlotte Flair?
I think it's a bit of a loophole, but
I hate this. Absolutely hate it.
Because wrestlers use the ring posts all the time without getting disqualified.
But anytime anyone uses the steps, they should be disqualified. And I don't mean throwing them into the steps, because that's momentum. Charlotte literally put her leg there and started kicking the steps.
Yeah.
No. Referee needs new glasses, or he needs to find a new job. That's ridiculous. Charlotte Flair pulls her in the ring, sticks her in the figure 8. Rhea Ripley taps out. Oh, whoop-de Charlotte Flair, 14-time champion in like a 5-year career. Hate it. That's all I'm going to say about that. We were going to a no contest or a disqualification. That didn't happen. Charlotte Flair, suck it.
All right.
No.
Take a breather.
I need a break. You crack with the next.
Okay. So the next one was the men's Money in the Bank ladder match.
I hate Charlotte Flair.
If you couldn't tell, he hates Charlotte Flair. Okay, so the first entrant into the ladder match is Drew McIntyre.
No, he was the last.
Oh, he's the last.
He's the last one, but he was the one with the biggest prop.
I have a terrible memory.
First one was Kevin Owens. Because of the skit. So, before the entrances, they had what's called gorilla position just behind the entrance to the rampway. And you had Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura just sort of chatting along, and up comes Riddle, hey bro, stoned out of his mind most likely, can you play Randy Orton's theme? And they start messing around, and Shinsuke's getting into it, and he's doing the Randy Orton thing. And you just sort of, the cameraman just sort of moves slightly. You just got Kevin Owens in the back looking at them like, what the hell's going on over there? He's like, screw this, I'm going up to the ring. And then obviously Kevin Owens makes his third entrance.
Yeah.
Then I think it was Riddle, followed by Nakamura. I think Ricochet, then Morrison, who told Miz to go to the back.
Yes, which was quite cool. He wanted to do it himself.
Which was cool. Big E. I'm missing someone. Who am I missing? Oh, Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
I forgot he went in there as well when his music hit.
I don't forgetting him.
Yeah, I don't know why. And then Drew McIntyre. So
Drew McIntyre. Usually, part of his entrance is he has his Claymore sword. He's got it in the air like, I don't know, Highlander or whatever.
Yeah, or He-Man. I think He-Man will be more pro.
Yeah. And then he sort of stabs it down into the ramp. So they've got a little hole.
They pull part of the screen up and you just kind of...
I suppose the reason that they've changed it is because now they'll be moving to different arenas and venues. They might not always be able to do it. But now they've got this prop rock.
Prop rock.
For him to stab the sword into. And you would think with the budget that WWE has, they could get something that at least looks like a sort of natural rock. But it's a cube. It's a cube painted to look like a rock. Like I guess you might get in a high school drama class.
It's like a papier-mâché rock.
It's just like, just make a rock that looks like a rock instead of a little square thing. Yeah. Wait.
The fireworks was off as well. He slammed it into it, and the fireworks took like 2 seconds before they hit.
I blame prop rock. Prop rock. In fact, it's going to turn up. It's going to be in every one of his entrances now. I'm sure they're going to use it every time, and I'm just going to be just staring at it like, why is it square? Is there some significance? Maybe one day he'll tell a story, because he does his story things, about the significance.
I'm Drew McIntyre, and this is why my rock is square.
Have you heard the legend of the prop rock that is the cube rock?
Do you think this is what formed the Borg? Like, Star Trek's actually real.
The
and in
Stone
like
Age Borg.
a couple of thousand years, this is where the Borg got their shape from. Somebody yeets this rock into space, and it lands on a planet somewhere,
Prop
and the Borg
rock
see it.
in space. Yes.
And they just see this prop rock, and it's just like, oh, that's a good shape for a ship. And that's where Borg cubes come from, do you think?
Maybe. I know it's a very small thing to get worked up about, but this prop rock has just baffled me. I might actually need to get like a prop rock plushie or something, because they could market that. Give it some little cute eyes as well.
And you have a little slit in it where you can push the Claymore into.
Put a little sword in it, yeah.
I bet they do that with an action figure at some point down the line. They'll have Drew with his sword and his prop rock.
Square prop rock. Do you want replica prop rock? Only $300 from WWE store.
It'll have a little suction cup on the bottom so you can stick it on a surface, and Drew, you can walk your little action figure out with a little sword and go. Anyway.
That's prop rock.
I mean, this was, again, much like the other ladder in the bank. Ladder in the bank. Oh,
We're having real trouble today.
Much like the other Money in the Bank ladder match, this was a great match. There was a lot of good spots in there. I don't even know. I can't even start describing it. Just literally watch this match. It was really good. Everyone has a good turn on it. There seemed to be a partnering between Seth Rollins and John Morrison for a bit, which was weird.
They started off arguing because...
Wasn't Seth and him on the outside?
Who was the drip master and stuff.
And then...
I don't get the whole drip thing. I don't know if I'm behind the times. I've not heard of it anywhere other than WWE.
But then, like, Morrison's got drip in his hair. So, like, he's got the word drip in his
Johnny
hair.
Drip.
And they're out to the ring, him and Seth, on the ramp side. And Seth's like, what's this on your hair? Drip. I'm the drip master. You're not Johnny Drip. I'm Seth Drip. And it's like, what a thing to be arguing about in the middle of an 8-person ladder match that gets you a championship opportunity.
But somehow...
Who's the drippiest?
I don't know, they unite over their drippiness.
Until Seth turns on him, inevitably.
Yeah, obviously.
Like he always does, because it's Seth.
I mean, both of them are some of the most two-faced people in the company, so of course one of them was going to turn, and Seth happened to be holding the ladder.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I clocked on about halfway through the match, I think it was Morrison and Ricochet.
Yeah.
And obviously they've had this feud for the last couple of weeks leading from the qualifying match. And I'd mentioned this to you when we were watching it, is that if anyone's seen Lucha Underground, John Morrison used to be known as, I think it was Johnny Impact at that point. And he was one of the top stars of Lucha Underground. His major rival was Prince Puma, a.k.a. a masked Ricochet.
Mm-hmm.
That, I don't know why I didn't make the connection sooner and why they've got so much chemistry.
Yeah.
But that explains it. And again, they had some pretty good spots in this. And as always, Kevin Owens just loves to jump off stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And like, well, I mean, Seth put him through that ladder and he snapped it clean in half.
Yeah, it felt that one.
Oh, but then, so Drew. Yeah, Drew. He was on his way up up the ladder. He was the only one in the ring trying to get up the ladder to get the Money in the Bank briefcase. And then you just see the crowd, and this is why I love live crowds back again.
Yeah.
You just see the crowd going, oh, and it's like, oh, someone's doing a run-in. Who is it? Who's coming in? And it was Jinder Mahal and his two lackeys. One of the guys from Indus Sher, and I can't remember who the other guy is. But they sort of dragged Drew all the way to the back, and they beat the hell out of him. And that was pretty cool, because I was afraid that Drew was going to win it, and I didn't want Drew to win it, because I'm sick of seeing Drew and everything.
But they've used it to further the storyline with Jinder. So it's a positive.
I mean, they've broken up the three-man band. What's to say Heath Slater doesn't come back to this and be like, guys. You know, right in the middle of it. But no, there was a lot of good spots in there. The last big spot was Seth Rollins and Big E. So Big E and Seth Rollins on top, so close to the top of the ladder. Big E runs up, grabs him, puts him on his shoulder, hits the big ending from like 3/4 of the way up the ladder. And it's like,
that's crazy.
That's the biggest big ending I think I've ever seen. Big E jumps back up, climbs up the ladder, unhooks it. Big E's Mr. Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of New Day.
No.
I'm not a fan of Big E.
But he's shown he can work.
Oh, he can work. He can absolutely work.
Yeah.
Stop gyrating your goddamn hips all the time. Stop sitting in the middle of the ropes with your legs splayed open like a cheap tart. Is that too much to ask for? You know?
Apparently. But, I mean, with that one move just before he got it.
Yeah, that was impressive. I'll give him that. So on that front, neither of us got any of those right.
It's two choices each, and we didn't get any.
I said Drew and Nakamura from Raw and SmackDown. You said Riddle and Rollins.
Yeah.
Respectively from Raw and SmackDown. It is what it is, and like last year going into it, I would never have said Otis would win it.
No.
But Otis won last year's Money in the Bank, and
we want more unpredictable matches. This is good. It's good that we're not getting it right. Although some of them, like with
Charlotte, Flair.
Yeah, that one I shouldn't have brought it up. I'm sorry. Let's move on.
Thing is, I kind of saw something in my head told me before we even recorded the video that Charlotte's going to win it.
Yeah.
And even before the match started, I said to you I got a bad feeling about this, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Because Charlotte's the golden
goose. The thing with that is that I think this is not going to lead to it'll lead to a rematch between Rhea and Charlotte, and Charlotte will get disqualified or something like that to keep the title, and she'll be like, well, you can't beat me, jog on, I want to find you a competitor. Out comes Becky Lynch. I don't want to see Becky Lynch and Charlotte for like the 20 millionth time.
Oh, that's one of the things we missed from that match, is there was a chant from the crowd, we want
Becky.
We
want Becky, yeah. Yeah. But that is exactly what it's going to be. Becky Lynch's going to come back after a year, you know, it'll be pretty cool to see her back. Yeah. But I don't want to see him getting stuck into the same matches again. No. Oh, look, it's Becky versus Charlotte Flair again. What would be better would be Becky versus Rhea Ripley. Someone she's never faced before. Good. You know?
Yeah. There we go. Anyway, sorry, we got onto good old Charlotte again.
Don't ever use the word good. And Charlotte, I
and
did that pun.
About the band.
I did that on purpose, in the same sentence again.
Gotcha.
So then leads us into the last match of the night, which was Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table, blah blah blah, versus Edge. Now I had to pause this because I had to deal with some other stuff before the match started, and there was still like 50 minutes left.
Yeah. As
the entrances were being made, and I literally said to you, "Are these guys going to go for the better part of 3/4 of an hour?"
I know, that's such a long match.
Surprised me. It probably did clock in at about 25-30 minutes long, give or take. Too slow.
Yes, I think it was.
They played with the countouts too much.
Yeah.
Like, Roman Reigns, I can see having a slow match. Edge, he can't go as quick as he used to because of the injury, because of the retirement in his neck. He's got to be careful, obviously. But he could probably go quicker than that.
Mm-hmm.
Roman Reigns, as much as I can't stand him, he is a safe worker. You know, he's not like Seth Rollins, who breaks people's faces and necks and whatnot, or shoulders and so forth. But Roman Reigns is a safe worker.
Yes.
I don't think he's really ever injured anyone. And Edge would have been no exception. He would have been safe and snug with Roman Reigns. I mean, that being said, there was a couple of spots where Roman went through the barricade on the outside and Edge speeding through another one. But Edge has always been this high impact, like quick moves, quick move. Never a, okay, slugfest, slow. I mean, yes, he can change his style, certainly. But don't deviate from what you know against someone as dangerous as Roman Reigns, right?
Yeah.
Roman Reigns is looking for a slow match because he's going to burn out too quick.
Mm-hmm.
Edge should have just kicked the speed up.
Yeah, you'd have had it then.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I just think the match was too slow. It started off ridiculously slow. They probably focused on the countdowns like 6 or 7 times during the match.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, really? I don't want to see countdowns all the time. You know? But then sort of going into the meat and bones of it, no, it wasn't a bad match.
No,
It was a decent match. It wasn't the worst match I've ever seen. But I did predict a ref bump, which happened.
Yeah.
Not quite in the way I expected it.
No.
So Charles Robinson used to be a referee, so he took an edge to the knee, apparently. Which is funny because he's rolling around on the deck and he's like, oh, and it looked like he hit his head more than anything. He's rolling around on the deck on the edge of the ring, and then he falls out and he must have hit his head because actually she's like, and it's like, oh god, okay.
Poor man.
So then, again, going back to the live crowd thing, the crowd's like, oh, pointing towards the entranceway. The camera cuts and it's the Usos strutting down to the ring with 2 guys in black running behind them. So they're about to slide in the ring and you just see them getting yeeted back out.
Yeah.
The Mysterios are there, so Ray and Edge?
Dominic.
No, Ray and Dominik Mysterio. I'm really struggling today.
Oh, honey.
Ray and Dominik Mysterio pull them out. They try and make the save for Edge, try and make it a one-on-one. Then they sort of end up rolling to the back, and then out comes Seth frickin' Rollins again.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of distracts Edge. He hits Edge with something, I believe. Roman goes for the cover. Referee slides in. 1, 2, and Edge kicks out.
Yeah.
Then as Edge is about to hit a spear on Reigns, Seth distracts him by jumping on the apron. Edge distracts himself by taking out Rollins. Turns around, eats a spear, and Reigns picks up the win. Boo. Sucks. Hate it.
Boo.
On that aspect, you said disqualification. I said Roman Reigns. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Roman retains either way. So, technically both right. So then
I was wrong.
Roman gets the mic and he starts talking crap as usual.
Mm-hmm.
And then John Cena's music hits. And this is
Yeah.
going to be the only time I'm going to cheer for John Cena ever. And here he comes, John Cena, to the ring, and just has a bit of a stare down. He does this little, almost like a little step to Roman Reigns, as if to say, hey, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for that belt.
And then he goes,
Can't see me.
yeah.
And Roman's just like, huh.
Yeah. He doesn't acknowledge Roman Reigns, apparently.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, how does someone acknowledge someone if you can't see them?
Very true. Exactly. I think that's actually a really good sort of use of the you can't see me thing.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think the only way that could have been better in my mind is now, so obviously painting the picture of Roman Reigns being in the ring with the mic, you got Paul Heyman behind him, who's pandering to Roman Reigns. What if Brock Lesnar's music hits instead?
No.
Like, what does Paul Heyman do at that point? I can almost imagine looking at Reigns, looking at Brock. Reigns is sort of giving him the over-the-shoulder look as if to say, is this your doing?
Mm.
And Paul being like, oh, crap, what do I do now, you know? Like a deer in the
It
headlights.
could still happen.
That would be cool.
It might happen at a future pay-per-view.
That would be cool. I'd like that. I think I'd rather see, as it stands right now, Lesnar go after Reigns than Lesnar going after Lashley.
Yeah.
As it stands right now. But they did say that Seth Rollins, damn it, John Cena will be on Raw tonight. So on tonight's episode of Raw, there's going to be John Cena stating his intent. But the thing that's getting me is that Roman Reigns is on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Why is he appearing on Raw?
He might be doing the circuit before stepping back in. Possibly.
Maybe.
Because you said that he indicated that he was back, not just the one night.
So after the pay-per-view cut, it was literally just John Cena pandering to the crowd on the ropes, and they cut the transmission. After that, after like a fan report was there, they did say that John Cena got the mic and he said, I'm not back just for one day. I'm back for good. So does that mean he is back for good? Or is he back for the next 5 weeks until SummerSlam?
Yeah, for a story.
Because to be fair, again, I'm not a big John Cena fan. I don't particularly care for John Cena. Much like I said earlier, he's not a great worker in the ring, but he's entertaining on the mic.
Oh yeah.
He can absolutely give a damn good promo. But he's doing really well with his films right now.
Yeah.
Would he throw that career in Hollywood away to go back to the ring? Because he's not getting any younger.
No.
He still looks like he's in great shape. But at some point, you're going to have to go, right, okay, I'm just going to hang my wrestling gear up now. I'm going to go find something else like The Rock did.
Yeah.
You know, and The Rock, again, it's another guy who's crushing it in Hollywood. He's put on some great films. I mean, they both, I think Rock's in the newest Fast and Furious. We haven't seen that yet. But I know John Cena's in it.
Yeah, he is.
So,
yeah.
You know.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So the next WWE video we'll probably do will be the predictions for SummerSlam, which is literally going to be just under 5 weeks' time.
They're so close together. Why are there so many?
Well, it's one a month, isn't it?
Yeah.
The problem now is the SummerSlam is on a Saturday, so we have to literally slam out SmackDown in that morning, get our video out, post it to you guys to watch, see what you think, and then do the SummerSlam on the next
Yeah, well, hopefully the reactions one will be easier to get out quickly because I won't be working.
Yeah.
Neither will you.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Well, I start my new job on the day after,
Boop, boop.
after 2 days after SummerSlam, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Boom.
hopefully that'll be quicker.
But yeah, so, okay, quick wrap up. Quick wrap up. What was your favourite match of the event?
Oh, let me have a little look through.
Yeah,
I'm so bad at picking. Do you want to do yours first?
I think the men's Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys I like. Not to say I don't like a lot of the women in the Money in the Bank match as well, but Kevin Owens is one of my favourites. John Morrison's fantastic. Ricochet's kind of up there as one of my favourites. Shinsuke Nakamura is definitely one of my favourites. Riddle not so much. Biggie not so much. Seth Rollins, I don't particularly care for his gimmick, but I enjoy watching him work in the ring because he's a fantastic worker in the ring. I'll give him that. Besides when he injures people. And what was the last one? Drew. Yeah, Drew. Give or take. I can take him or leave him, but
he left. So.
Yeah, but again, he's got that hard hitting start.
Yeah.
And that was him and Big E should have gone at it more, I think, because they're the two powerhouses, you know.
I think I'm gonna pick the women's Money in the Bank. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any reason?
The brief things that Alexa Bliss did were
the beginning of the match,
and
standing on the ropes, just
yes.
watching everyone go at it.
Just the atmosphere that she creates. And Liv Morgan, her spots were really good, and all the guys really. Even
we didn't touch on Zelina's outfit. Zelina's outfit was pretty badass.
Oh yeah, it's like full on like Latina kind of.
It's like a Queen of Swans or something with that headdress. That was really cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know all the women in that
Black
match.
is a lucky man.
Oh yeah. All the women
anyone who
in that
doesn't
match
know,
were great, so.
Zelina Vega is married to WWE's Aleister Black or AEW's Malachi Black. Married together, they're together. So
yeah,
fair play. That's an awesome power couple.
Yeah.
That's why I'm surprised that when she came back, everyone thought Aleister Black's going to come back to WWE. He went to AEW instead. I'm surprised that she came back after the way WWE treated her.
Yeah. Must have been some money in it.
Somebody must have got on their knees and started groveling, but you know. But yeah, anyway, yeah, so, you know, did you watch Money in the Bank? Let us know what you thought of it. If you did, if not, go watch it, then come back and watch this. I mean, we probably should have prefaced that at the beginning.
We'll put a spoiler warning at the start, it's fine.
What was your favourite match? Did they go the way that you predicted on there? Are you looking forward to SummerSlam? 5 weeks till SummerSlam. Who's going to be the match? Is Goldberg going to return to face Bobby Lashley as the dirt sheets and the rumour mill states? Is John Cena going to fight Bobby Lashley instead? Is he just stepping up to Roman Reigns as a what do you call it, a red herring?
Would you buy a prop rock plushie?
Sell us a prop rock plushie in 10 seconds, man.
It's squishy and it's a rock and it's square and you can put things in it. It's cute. You can put googly eyes. Nice one.
Prop rock.
Let us know in the comments below.
Do you hate Charlotte Flair as well? I'm going to start a fan club. We Hate Charlotte Flair fan club.
Anti-fan club.
So.
Oh, thank you so much for watching this video and our rants about, Alan's rants about Charlotte Flair. Please like the video if you liked it. Subscribe and hit that bell notification to get...
Ding ding.
That bell notification? Bell button to get notifications when we drop new videos. Follow us on socials and leave a comment below.
Yeah, join the conversation. Let us know what you thought. Awesome.
Yeah, that's it for this time.
Yeah, thanks for watching. We don't know how long it's run. We apologise if it's like 4 hours long. It could very well be. We don't know at this point. But yeah, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you for the next videos, whatever they may be.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.